Alright, I went and pushed the truck outside, and then it looked like it was about to rain, so I pushed it back inside. It didn't rain. Then after it was inside for a bit, it did rain. So anyway, truck's back inside, up on the lift. If you saw the previous video, you remember these, a set of Pro Stars that I picked up for the truck. And I just blacked out the center because I have to order some center caps. So yeah, kind of forgot about that. But went ahead and put that back on the truck. I had to order lug nuts as well. Ordered some new ones because the old ones were kind of ratty. Wheels polished out pretty good, considering they're 1990 models. I think I talked about that before. There's a date on here somewhere. Where's that date at? Yeah, right there. 09/1990. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So those are definitely period-ish correct. I mean, 80s would probably be pretty close considering it's a 70 model truck. So we'll say 1990, 1989. That's pretty close, right? Same genre. Anyway, classic Pro Stars on the Hot Sauce C10. So fun fact, the brakes are actually the brake drum and the caliper and the disc up there I did in the Rust-Oleum Gloss Apple Red, which is actually, you can see, pretty much the same as Victory Red. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. Had no idea. It actually looked darker on the can, but now that I got them beside each other, yeah, they pretty much look the same. So that worked out good. And that was a wild guess because I did those before I actually bought the paint for the truck. But I said, red is red. And in this case, it worked out good. Anyway, I'm going to get some stuff cleaned up, and then we're going to tackle the front shocks on here and retouch this, get the front wheels installed, and then we will get the gas tank installed because it's sitting on the trash can over there. I got some hoses for it, and we need to reinstall the gas tank. Once the gas tank is reinstalled, I think that is all we're going to do with the truck in the air. I've still got some mirrors to put on, and I got to get in this engine bay to get this thing running. The transmission is leaking at the pan, so I got to figure out what's up with that. Oh yeah, and we got to install a windshield. Lots to do. I'm going to get to work. Alright, we got the passenger side shock assembly we're going to get swapped out, and try to get you guys positioned where you can see the upper and lower bolt. That's the upper bolt right there. Lower bolt's right down here. It's a little hard to see. It's probably at the very bottom of the camera screen. 3/4 inch socket and for a 19 and an 18. The upper nut is a little bit smaller than the lower nut. If you have newer shocks on there, it'll be metric. So 18 up top and a 3/4 at the bottom, or 19 at the bottom. I'll be using an air impact on both ends. Just have to remove the nut. I'm actually going to reuse the hardware that's on here because it's got my Romatic shocks on here. They've not been on very long. From what I can tell, the truck's been sitting, so they've discharged as far as the gas. But hardware looks good. Actually, looks pretty close to new. So let me slide down here. Sorry about the shadowing. Now, if your shocks are old, the removal will be really easy. They'll just fall out. Leaky impact here. Definitely need to replace that lock nut. It's done. No, I still got a little bit of spring in there. Easy up top, down low. Got a 3/4 or 19 millimeter. You'll need a wrench and a socket, whether impact or a ratchet. You'll need that. You gotta have, or 2 wrenches, but you gotta have 2 because you're gonna have to hold the lower nut in place. So you can just barely see right down there. Then there's a head of the bolt on the other side. You can back that out, but you'll probably need to hold the lower in place, so it'll take 2. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, nice hardware right there. Very nice. if you have new hardware, use your new stuff. Literally would just fall off like so. Now if you're wondering how I know these are newer shocks, the hardware on the old shocks is standard, not metric. So freedom units, for those of you people who believe in freedom units. I know some people get bent out of shape over that term. So on your new shock, you'll want to compress it. The front shocks out of the box are not bound by any means. So my recommendation is you get your lower bolt ready, because you're going to want to put the lower one in first and then get the upper one on. And you'll probably want to compress your shock a couple times, because it can be a battle if you got to fight with that thing. I am speaking from experience. And if it extends all the way out, there's a detent at the very end, I guess, of the shock. Makes it nearly impossible to get it in there. Oh yeah, one more thing. You probably need a hammer, because this lower tang right here, where my fingers are at, gets compressed in when you install a shock, and you'll need to hammer it back out to get your new one in. Now these newer shocks have a bushing sleeve in them, I believe, at the top. The lower one does not. So as that rubber gets compressed, you'll have to take a hammer and... I'm sorry, yeah, the lower one, the new lowers have sleeves in them, as the old lower did not. No sleeve. So that's why I got to hammer this back out. So get your test fit first, make sure it slides in there nice and easy, because you'll want that, because you're going to have to move quickly. Compress your shock down, so take it and push it together. Typically, pushing down on the ground is the best way to do this, because unless you're super strong, you won't be able to get it just squeezing it together with your hands. As it comes back up, you slide it up on there, and then work like crazy to get it up on there, like so. Ease it all the way back, and go ahead and install your hardware you removed, or your new hardware. Like so. That's simple. I'll go find me some more lock nuts. Now the old style doesn't have a washer on the outside of the lower, on your lower control arm. I put one in just because that keeps the nut from spinning on the steel. Start with my lower one first, since we have the 9 or 3/4 inch on there. I'll swap over to our 18 and drive the upper one on. Like so. Alright. That wraps up the shock installation. Let's go and get this wheel on. Alright, we'll be installing this ProStar. These are 15x8s, I believe. Very cool wheel. One that the owner specifically picked out. So, it's always cool. Pretty decent shape for some 1990 models. So, let's see here. We'll go ahead and get it set up there on the hub assembly. The good part is these are super light. In fact, the wheel weighs less than the tire. So there is one trick to installing these. These are mag wheel lug nuts. They have a washer that goes with them. You want to make sure the washer's wheel side facing in. It's got a dome on the outside. Drop the lug nut through into the hole. Now this is not like your typical hub centering type wheels with acorn nuts where you can just slap the wheel up there and you've got a stud sticking out and you can start it up on there. These require a little bit of finesse, because you have to go in and adjust the wheel to get these started. Always, always, always start your lug nuts by hand. unless you work for the NASCAR crews, in which case they strip them on every time anyway, and they don't care. So my recommendation is you have the star pointing in a downward direction. Start at the very bottom, lift up on the wheel just enough to get the lug nut started, and you'll know because it'll thread up on there nice and easy. Once you've got that one started, work your way around, pushing up on the wheel just a little bit, and you'll know when they're on there and started, because like I said, it's super easy to thread them up on there. This C10 uses 1/2 inch 20 lug nuts. These are available in all different sizes, lengths, and configurations. So you get them all started like that by hand, and then start using your crossover pattern, tightening those up. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a spark plug socket that fits an impact, but yep, I have one. Not that I'd ever saw a spark plug with it. Wipe my wheel off here, got some residue on this thing. I do have center caps, they're just not here yet. And I gotta get the truck road tested, so we'll pop these off and put those on later. But that's it, there's the Pro Star. Got some Mastercraft tires on there. Pretty sweet look. Just gonna wrap it up, make some adjustments, get ready to put the fuel tank in. So until then, my name's Erwin. This Thrills in the Block, where we're giving back the time that's taken away. We'll see you soon. Now, of course, for the outro, we gotta get a whole look at the truck down the side. You know, them bad boys on there. You know, y'all didn't think I was gonna leave you without a view of this beautiful specimen. I know. Yes, coming along, coming along, coming along.